Hello guys, welcome to this new video where I'm gonna review for the first time a DSLR lens. As you may know, I use currently the Canon 250D for shooting my videos, most of my videos. I got it with the kit lens, which is the 18 to 55mm f1. No, it's f4 to f5.6, I'm sorry. So it has that focal length, it's a zoom lens actually, but the problem with these kit lenses is the aperture, alright? If you're not familiar with the aperture, the more you have a lens with a big aperture, the more light will go into the sensor, and especially the more you'll get that bokeh effect, that blurry effect on your photos and videos. So actually now I'm using the 50mm f1.8 from YONGNUO, which I will review in this video, so I wanted to start with it. And I have here my kit lens. As you may see, these are the 18 to 55mm f4 to f5.6. I don't have the key light in here, so I have it right into my face. So this over here is the Canon kit lens that I got with this Canon camera. As you may know, many of you will ask me, why did you get that YONGNUO 50mm instead of the Nifty 50 from Canon, which is the 50mm f1.8 STM. This one costs $125, which is pretty affordable in lens market, alright? But in fact, I got more value for the price in the YONGNUO 50mm purchase. Got it for pretty much $60. It's half the price of the Canon. It's a pretty good deal. In this video, I will review these lenses with you. What are the drawbacks? What are the positive sides? Is it really a value for the money? And I will show you dozens of pictures and video samples that I got from it. Happy watching. Starting with the pros. This lens is very good considering its specs. It's 50mm, is that very exact focal length that you'll need on your pictures. Not too wide, not too telephoto, alright? And it's f1.8 on the aperture. As I said, if you're not familiar with the aperture, it's that mechanical side which is responsible on the amount of light that gets into the sensor. The more you have a big aperture, alright, it's pretty confusing here. A big aperture is determined by a lower f value. f1.8, it's big aperture. f8 is very slow aperture. Alright, it's a bit confusing, but this is photography. One. With that being said, I got a very nice bokeh effect, a nice blurry images with a very zoomed focal length. As I said, a zoomed focal length plus a big aperture gives you that very nice blurry bokeh effect on your shots. Second, night photography. As I said, a big aperture lets more light, so in the night photography you'll get a very good looking pictures with a good sufficient light. You'll end up with fast exposure pictures. Fast aperture. It's called the fast aperture because your DSLR, if you're selecting that mode of aperture priority and you're setting f1.8, the camera will have to set a lower, or I'm sorry, a bigger shutter speed because there is enough light. Whereas on your kit lens, because you have a slower aperture, the camera will have to get a very long shutter speed, which sometimes if you don't really own a tripod, you'll end up with some very bad shots. Moving on to the cons of this lens, this YONGNUO 50mm, talking about this lens specifically, alright? There is a problem actually. You're getting drawbacks, you're getting downsides when you're paying that less of a money. It's not Canon, it's a Chinese copy, just to be honest, okay? So the big drawback I got is the focus. Now, when filming this video, I have problems with the focus. I'm gonna cut this in the video editing because sometimes now I'm shooting, I'm still, and the lens just loses focus by itself. It's not a problem from the camera. I have a camera which has a dual pixel autofocus powered by the Digic 8 processor, which is the Canon 250D if you're not familiar with it. And the problem is from the lens. The because I don't really face that problem with the kit lens anyway. Especially talking videography, if you're shooting video, like in this case, and especially outside, there is a very huge problem, which is the sound of the focusing motor. It's very clunky, it's slow and it's clunky. It doesn't get the focus. At the end of the way, it wouldn't be a good lens if it didn't get the focus, but it's very slow and it's very clunky and noisy. Losing here a lavalier microphone on my t-shirt. You're not gonna, you see that? It really did it just now. It lost the focus because I was going like back, and this is it. We have a problem with the focus in this lens and it's very slow, as I said. Photography, if you really nail the shot, I'm always using manual focus. Even on video, for example, if I'm shooting an object or something like that, I use manual focus to avoid that issue of the focus motor on this lens. But anyway, with this lens, I assure you, you will get some very good pictures comparing it to the kit lens, alright? It's a very huge difference, as I said, whether it was on daylight or in night photography. It's a very huge difference, alright? You will say to me, 50mm, I have it on my kit lens, it's the same focal length. No, actually a wrong idea. Because on 55mm on the kit lens, you're on f5.6. which is a very sharp aperture. You're not gonna get that blurry image if you're looking for portrait photography. You have to get that one, which is a prime lens. Basically, it's called a prime lens because it has that fixed focal length on it, and it's not zooming because it's not a zoom lens, as I said, not comparing it to the kit lens. Finally, I want to say that if you're really relying on this lens, like you're only getting this lens on your pocket with no kit lens, you're doing a mistake, because this lens, as I said, it's 50mm. The camera right now, it's about like 2 meters away from me, alright? And if you're getting that lens outside and you want to take close-up pictures, like you need wide lens, like the 18mm on your kit lens. You have to pack your kit lens with you. It's sometimes more practical than this lens over here. If you're really looking to compete on portrait photography and you want to get that amazingly looking pictures, you need these lenses. Like really, I guarantee you that you will get magnificent pictures. Even DSLR owners that have the kit lens as their main lens will come to you to borrow your lens. Okay, so now we move to the crucial part on the image, which is editing your picture. As I said, there are some drawbacks of these lenses. You're getting drawbacks when getting these cheap glass. One of the drawbacks are chromatic aberration, which is a little reddish color fringing on your image. So you can get rid of it on Lightroom by pressing remove CA, which is chromatic aberration, and by pressing enable lens correction, you can get rid of this vignetting or even the central sharpness. Or I will show you some edits that I will do right now. So this is the difference between before and after. So as you can see, we got rid of some chromatic aberration, which is really boring and nasty on your image. Now I'll proceed to the next editing, which is the colors. I don't really want to skip editing the colors because it's a very important part on my images. So I'll add some temperature, the tint, and some vibrance, and then now I'll go to the effects, the texture and the clarity and the dehaze. Those are really important for me, especially when I'm taking pictures like quickly and I really lose focus sometimes. My pictures are not very sharp. These settings over here will really improve the sharpness of my image, and no one will ever notice that I got the focus not right. So this is it. You can see now the difference between the before and after. So that was everything for this. So that's it. I hope you got something from this video. If you really have a DSLR and you need to get your second or your first, I don't know, your first or your second lens, this one, the YONGNUO F1.8, is no bargain. All right, good value for money. Like for me, I got it for $60. Its price on the internet, it's $49 to $55. I got it here locally because I didn't want to order it in the internet because the situation here on flights and online shopping is no good for the meantime. So that was everything, guys. I hope you got something from this video. Go over there, get these lenses and get some good shots. Yusuf sends his regards. Goodbye.